Hi, my name is Dale Smith. We're continuing in the charts, the end times, the tribulation time, all that. Today we're going to, at this time in this particular class, we're going to talk, these are the different events that are going to take place. We've done some of these already. The one I want to do today for right now is the 144,000 high priests that will be coming during this tribulation time. Now, remember there's 7 years, 6 years of Zion. The 7th year will be Mount Zion. This is when a lot of that will take place, 144,000. Right after this, or near the end of this time, Jesus will return. These are the different events that will take place. We've gone over some of this already. Now, this chart here is Mount Zion. I kind of look at this as the 7th year when Mount Zion, when the people will be protected and all that. So I just kind of give you an idea of Mount Zion, the kingdom of earth, the kingdom of heaven. Now let me read this to you. 144,000 which will take place during the Great Tribulation. That's what these events will take place. The mark of these, we've already done that. Here's the 2 witnesses. The apostate church of Babylon still going today. Now we're going to talk about the 144,000. Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. The numbered seals, 144,000, of all the 12 tribes of Israel. A great multitude of all nations stood before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, crying, salvation to our God and unto the Lamb, which are these which are arrayed with white robes. These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made the white in the blood of the Lamb. They are before the throne of God, serving him day and night in his temple. No man could learn the song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, not defiled with women, for they were virgins, redeemed among men. Revelation 14, verse 3 and 4. And the angel from the east, to whom was given the seal of the living God over the 12 tribes of Israel, this is Elias, which was to come to gather together the 12 tribes of Israel and to restore all things. See section 77, 9a. For the hour of his coming is nigh, when the Lamb shall stand upon Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having their father's name written in their foreheads. Wherefore prepare ye the coming of the bridegroom. He shall stand on Mount Olivet. That's in Doctrine and Covenants. Okay. Put this one back. Okay, that's the 7 years. Now I'm going to read from my book. I've showed you this before. This is my book. The Kingdoms of this World. It talks about all about the nations, past, present, and in future. And page 197 in my book talks about the 144,000, and that's what I'm going to read. And the 144,000 is found in the chapter 7 and chapter 14 of Revelation. During the last half of the tribulation, the 7 years, Revelation chapter 7 describes an important event in the preparation of Christ coming in glory. These 144,000, approximately 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes, will have the Holy Spirit of promise. A sealing ordinance, see Doctrine and Covenants 76, verse 52 and 53. This will be the greatest missionary force ever at one time. There's a lot of missionary force, but this will be at one time. They will have an endowment of protection. Revelation 14:1. A lamb stood in Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having the Father's name written in their foreheads. We see that these 144,000 were with the Lamb standing in Mount Zion. Mount Zion, by this time, will become celestialized like Enoch's city because of the great cleansing, and many were purified and made worthy to stand with the Christ. See Daniel chapter 12:12. Mount Zion will become a reality after the 2,300 days that are fulfilled. And we talked about the 2,300 days. There's 2,520 days for 7 years. 2,300 days will be during the 6th year that this will take place. It's in the book of Daniel. Mount Zion will become a reality after the 2,300 days are fulfilled and will become celestialized. In other words, the church will be cleansed by that time. The first 6 years of tribulation will be called Zion, and for his saints, it will be called Mount Zion during the last 7 years of last 7th year of the 7 years. Revelation 14 verse 4 says, "These were not defiled with women." This meaning that they were cleansed from all women and not defiled with them. This does not mean that they were not married, for as long as they were good with their wives and not abusive to them, they could qualify for this great work of God. God said to multiply and replenish the earth, so they would be included. These high priests were redeemed from the earth. In other words, they chose to follow the Lamb whatsoever he goeth. They had their Father's name written in their foreheads. That's in verse 1. This could be the literal work, the literal mark on their foreheads, or written in their minds. Either way, they resolutely decided to follow the Lamb. They were the first fruits of God and to the Lamb. Also, they had no guile, for they are all without fault. The first fruits was their offering to God of their lives. Men who reached perfection, as in Enoch's day, because of the high spiritual plane. They had the privilege of receiving the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. This means they could commune with the general assembly of the church of the firstborn because they reached perfection. The church of the firstborn is located in heaven, the heavenly church of Jesus Christ, where Enoch City dwells. The earthly church is the church of Jesus Christ. They are one of the same. Section 77, verse 11. Give us understanding on the 144,000. We are to understand that those who are sealed with the Spirit of promise are high priests, ordained unto the holy order of God to administer the everlasting gospel, for they are they who are ordained out of every nation, kindred, tongues, and people, by the angels to whom is given power over the nations of the earth to bring as many as will come to the church of the firstborn. They enjoyed the presence of God in Jesus. That's in section 77, 107, verse 19. These special witnesses who stand before the Lamb will be given white robes. Now this is in Revelation 7, verse 9 and verse 13. One of the elders at the throne asked, "What are these which are arrayed with white robes?" And the answer is given in Revelation 7, verse 14. These are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. For they have overcome him, Satan, by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. For they loved not their own lives, but kept the testimony even unto death. White robes are clouds or garments in Job 38, verse 9. So we see here, we're talking about these 144,000. Near the end of the 7 years, this will take place. We have seen in the scriptures, Revelation 7:14, that the ministry of the 144,000 will take place during this last half of the Great Tribulation of the 7 years. Genesis 7:70, that's in the inspired Joseph Smith translation. See Moses chapter 7 also. And righteousness and truth will cause to sweep the earth as with the flood, with the greatest missionary force ever, to gather out mine own elect from the four quarters of the earth unto a place which I shall prepare, a holy city, that my covenant people may gird up their loins and be looking forth or watching for the time at the end of the 7 years of my coming in glory. For there will be my tabernacle, and it shall be called Zion, a new Jerusalem. The 144,000 will go out to preach when Zion is built, so that the covenant people will have a place to gather to after accepting the gospel. And that's it on that one.